Welcome to a webcast made by the Learning Enhancement team based in the Dean of Students office at the University of East Anglia. This is a fact sheet about logic and propositions. Here, propositions are denoted by P, Q, and so on. T denotes true, and F denotes false. Basic connectives and statements. Conjunction. This symbol. Said, P and Q. P true, Q true, P and Q true. P true, Q false, P and Q false. P false, Q true, P and Q false. P false, Q false, P and Q false. Disjunction. This symbol. Said, P or Q. P true, Q true, P or Q true. P true, Q false, P or Q true. P false, Q true, P or Q true. P false, Q false, P or Q false. Negation. This symbol, or this symbol, or this symbol. Said, not P. P true, not P false. P false, not P true. Conditional. This symbol. Said, if P then Q, or P implies Q. P true, Q true, P implies Q true. P true, Q false, P implies Q false. P false, Q true, P implies Q true. P false, Q false, P implies Q true. Biconditional. This symbol. Said, P if and only if Q. Or P implies Q and Q implies P. P true, Q true, P if and only if Q true. P true, Q false, P if and only if Q false. P false, Q true, P if and only if Q false. P false, Q false, P if and only if Q true. Tautology. Written like this. P is always true. A contradiction. Written like this. P is always false. Algebraic equivalence. Written like this. P is algebraically equivalent to Q. Or, written like this, P and Q have identical truth tables. Two useful logical equivalences. P implies Q is logically equivalent to not P or Q. P if and only if Q is logically equivalent to not P or Q and P or not Q. Algebraic laws of propositions. 1. Idempotent laws. First, P or P is equivalent to P. Second, P and P is equivalent to P. 2. Associative laws. First, P or Q or R is equivalent to P or Q or R. Second, P and Q and R is equivalent to P and Q and R. 3. Commutative laws. First, P or Q is equivalent to Q or P. Second, P and Q is equivalent to Q and P. 4. Distributive laws. First, P or Q and R is equivalent to P or Q and P or R. Second, P and Q or R is equivalent to P and Q or P and R. 5. Identity laws. First, P or false is equivalent to P. Second, P or true is equivalent to true. Third, P and true is equivalent to P. Fourth, P and false is equivalent to false. 6. Complement laws. First, P or not P is equivalent to true. Second, P and not P is equivalent to false. Third, not true is equivalent to false. Fourth, not false is equivalent to true. 7. Involution law. Not P is equivalent to P. 8. De Morgan's laws. First, not P or Q is equivalent to not P and not Q. Second, not P and Q is equivalent to not P or not Q. 9. Modus ponens. P and P implies Q implies Q. 10. Modus tollens. Not P and Q implies P implies not Q. 11. Disjunctive syllogism. Not P and P or Q implies Q. 12. Hypothetical syllogism. P implies Q and Q implies R implies R. Further guidance and information. If you have any further questions about mathematical skills or would like to discuss any other aspects of mathematics, you can talk to your lecturer or personal advisor or make an appointment to see a learning enhancement tutor in the Dean of Students office. You can telephone 01603 592761, email dos.help@uea.ac.uk, or visit our website at www.uea.ac.uk/dos/let. There are further resources on many other aspects of numeracy, mathematics, statistics and science available from the Dean of Students office and on its website. These include questions to practice, model solutions and webcasts illustrating essential skills. This guidance is one of a series on mathematics produced by the Dean of Students office at the University of East Anglia.